I am okay. How is everything with you? I am sorry to hear that. What is wrong, my friend? It changes you forever, doesn't it? I am sorry for your loss. If only there were a way to turn back time. Alas, we cannot. We can remember, though. At least we have that. The joyful agony we feel when we recall the loved and lost is important. It describes their significance, even in death. Maybe, but people are often sharpest with those they care for. If they meant a lot to you, the chances are you meant a lot to them. Not everyone is good at showing appreciation, but we all feel it, I think. That is what is important. That is what endures. Yes, it is horrible. When I said goodbye to my parents, I did not think it would be forever. Maybe I am kidding myself, but I believe they knew or suspected what was never said. Perhaps the same is true for you. Anyway, I now try to tell those I care about how much they mean to me whenever I get the chance. It seems wise. Indeed. Even now it is hard to accept I will never see Fergus or my parents again. I cannot control that, but they are a part of me still. They are in every tear, every song, and every smile. I believe I am lucky to have been gifted knowledge of their souls before they passed on, but sometimes it is a heavy gift to bear. That is a wonderful compliment to them. What do you think they would tell you if they were here now? Easy for them to say, but it is probably good advice. They seem to be alive and well in you. Remember them, but try not to let grief drag you down. It will always be there, but you can make room for it. Those we cared about in life would not want to be a burden in death. I am sure of it. I know, my friend, I know. You probably always will, but it does get a little easier. Trust me. But it does. That is no slight on the departed. It is just the way it is. You will always miss them, but in time those feelings are no longer all-encompassing. Hard to imagine now, but it is true. It is an ache like no other, that is for sure. When Fergus passed, I thought the pain was going to rip me in two. I suppose it did in a way. Those we have lost take a piece of us with them when they go, I think. All we can do is try to ensure that what grows in its place is not detrimental. Easier said than done. If I can help in any way, let me know. That happens to me too. When it does, I try to remember them during some happy moment. It dulls the pain a little. I remember my mother and father reading to me, taking turns to do the voices in the story. How they made each other laugh. I remember Fergus getting his head caught in a basket and us both rolling about, giggling, trying to free him. I remember family hunting trips and the look of pride and amazement on my mother's face when I shot my first bird out of the sky. When I forget, then realize my family are gone, I visit them in these memories. It is a poor substitute, but a lot better than nothing. Yes, it is. It is the reason I turned to skooma. Hiding from that anguish does not work, though. It is better to let it out if you can, when you are ready. Sure. Let's see. One evening when I was with the bandits, I was out patrolling our camp near a forest while everyone else was on a raid. I saw something move nearby, so I raised my torch and peered into the trees. There were 10 heavily armed warriors staring back at me. 2 of them had arrows aimed at my head. I was about to duck when a searing pain engulfed my arm and I let out a yell of agony. I had accidentally set myself on fire with my torch. I ran about screaming, waving my flaming arm in the air. Eventually, I spotted a large puddle and extinguished myself. I then searched about for the warriors. They were clearly getting ready to launch an attack, but they were nowhere to be seen. Later, when my group returned, they suggested we move camp. They had heard tales of a flaming, shrieking ghost stalking the woods and asked me if I had seen anything. I said that I had seen something burning among the trees, but I never told them it was me. I hope so. I enjoy the idea of being a spooky legend, even if it was a misunderstanding. Anyway, I kept my arm covered until the hair grew back and no one was the wiser. When you are living with a group of bandits, reputation is everything. Of course. Remember, I am always here if you want to talk.